Welcome to Lesson 10 in our 12-part drawing series with 3 Angels for Kids. Today we'll be drawing a well, and you may not see the connection to Angel 3 in Revelation until you watch our video, The Mind-Hand Connection. We are trying to show a cause and effect metaphor that will help you remember the third angel's message that what you put in your mind leads to what you do with your hands. So we want to use our minds and hands for Jesus, be patient, and have faith. Okay, so enjoy drawing the well with us now, and be sure to watch that video, The Mind-Hand Connection. We are drawing a wishing well today. This has to do with cause and effect. So you have a horizontal line at the top. You have a diagonal line coming off one side and a diagonal line coming off the other side. And then you're filling in that bottom part of your, I guess you call this a trapezoid. Now you're kind of making another diagonal line, so you have kind of a triangle at the side. It looks a little bit like a tent. This is the top of our wishing well. Cause and effect. What happens when you turn the handle of a wishing well? The bucket comes up. And we're going to talk a little more about that, and hopefully you watched our video, The Mind-Hand Connection. All right, perspective. We're making one side of our wishing well, this piece of rounded wood here, and the pole that goes across. And you've got your two horizontal lines. If you need to slow down the video, please do so. You'll notice on the other side, our piece of wood that is holding up this bar is a little smaller because we're doing it from the perspective of standing on the left side. All right, so you've got your pole there. Remember, you've got to watch the mind-hand connection. This is just a symbol to help you remember that what happens with your mind affects your actions. So with this little wishing well, when you crank the handle, up comes the bucket. They are connected, just like your mind and your hands are connected, okay? So what we put in our mind affects our actions. And the third angel's message talks about our mind and our hand. So you want to use your mind to study the Bible, put good things in your mind, and then your actions will follow, just like with this wishing well. Okay, so we have the pole structure here. Now we are making the bucket, putting a little ellipse here for the top of the bucket, coming down the side of the bucket, the other side, closing up our little cylinder on the bottom here. So we have our bucket, and you will see how this will all fit together with your wishing well. Feel free to slow down the video. But again, the mind-hand connection, I want you to remember that. What you put in your mind affects how you act. And the third angel's message talks about that. Talks about minds and hands. Talks about a mark in the forehead and on the hand. That is a symbol. That is a symbol of what you put in your mind. And if you put God's commandments in your mind and determine to follow them, you will. So that's the connection there. I'm giving you some time here so you can catch up with me. Now we have the handle of our bucket. And I'm going to leave a part out and see if you figure it out, and then I'll add it in later. But anyway, in the meantime, we're now making our rope that is going around the pole. And you see, you can just make some little small ellipses up here. And this will be your rope going around the pole and down, hooking into the bucket. All right, we just parallel that first part to complete our rope. You now have your bucket hanging, and now we have to complete our well. So we're making the top part of the bottom part, right? The top part of the bottom part. Does that make sense to you? The well part, okay? Going around, and now you see that our bucket is sitting on the edge of the bottom of this well, and I'm making kind of a stone effect. So we're going to put, of course, we have to remember that stones are not all the exact same shape. And I've speeded this up a little bit, so feel free to slow it down. Making the top of our bucket now. So you see how you have your pail on the top of the well. Now there's still a part that's missing, and I'm doing this on purpose because I want you to think, what is the connection here? What is connected? So I'm going to fill in, and I'm making some just little red squares in the top here so that this also looks like maybe it's made out of brick or something, but I hope you're thinking something's missing from my well. I like to get you thinking. So you can put your red squares on the top, and while you're putting those red squares, I want you to think about what might be missing from my well. There's a connection here that's not happening yet. Okay, so we have our brick top. Now I'm going to color my bucket in green, a little darker on the side. Filling in a little black here so we can see some depth on the inside of that bucket. Remember, there's a connection. When you do one thing, another thing connects. You put something in your mind that connects with the way you behave and the way you act. Just like this well, there's a connection here. Have you figured out yet what I have not yet put in because I wanted to make you think? Okay, coloring in gray are stones on the bottom of our well. And please, you can read about the third angel's message. Be sure you have watched our video, The Mind-Hand Connection, and then it's all going to make sense. But this is a metaphor to help you remember that things are connected, cause and effect. All right, I'm putting some dark black here so you can see that the well goes down. The bucket has to go down into the water, just like we need to go down into the water of Christ's mercy and love. And we have to reach deep and drink deeply of what he has to offer us. Now, have you figured out yet what is missing? Am I finished? You think, how many? I wish I could see you raising your hands. I was going to say, how many people think I am finished? Getting my rope all colored in. Is that it now for me? Aha, you got it. We have to have the handle. I cannot put that bucket up and down without turning the handle. And it's just like a connection between our mind and our actions. I cannot act for God if I haven't put his word in my heart and in my mind. So there's a connection between your mind and your hand. And I hope this metaphor helps you to remember that.